Oh man, oh boy, the anime list for summer of 2023 is out! I'm so excited that it's like I'm opening up a birthday present! What are we having this summer? Mushoku Tensei comes in with another season? Ori Miya! What an unexpected comeback! Wait, Masamune-kun's revenge? Talk about out of left field! Oh, that's right, Bleach and Jujutsu Kaisen are returning too! I could die happy right now. Wait, what are these new shows? Is this about zombies? Oh yeah, baby! Oh. Gosh, there are so many new titles coming out and they all look so interesting. Is this about magic? Another gaming anime? Is that a vending machine? Man, this season's gonna be epic. It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait for these first episodes to drop. This is gonna be insane. Some summer this was. The only anime that were good were the returning anime. I mean, sure, Zom 100's obviously good, but the delays aren't helping. The Masterful Cat is pretty okay, and I suppose the Glasses anime is alright too. The other anime just feel like mindless cash grabs. The No Game No Life ripoff was just plain bad. Anime Harry Potter showed promise, yet turned out to be absolute dog water. And why is Rent-A-Ho still airing? Put your studio money into literally anything else. Have I just not dug deep enough? Isn't there anything new? Like, new and original? And no, I'm not talking about another low-budget isekai with another new stupid overpowered skill. And I swear, if I see one more photo of that freaking vending machine, I'm gonna make 8-year-olds cry on Fortnite and emote on their ass! Huh? What? It's on Netflix. Well, what the heck? Let's give it a try. Okay. On to the final episode. Wait. Where's the next episode? No! It can't be! I'm caught up? No! Well, now that you know my villain origin story, let's get into the main dish as to why we're here today. We're here today because this season, well, it hasn't been the best, to be frank. Let me put it this way. If we were to exclude all the returning anime and the sequels that came out this summer, you could not look me in the eye and say that it was a good season of anime. We've had a lot of weeds around the flowers this year. There was a massive abundance of anime that was neither good nor bad this summer, but there was also a lot of anime that are just plain bad. And with that, there are some I'm surprised about even having received an adaptation. Whether it was because of a mediocre budget, a bad script, or just lack of time, there seem to be a lot of noticeable moments and scenes in anime that just aren't up to par.
I can't disappoint you then.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed. Now, if I were to rank the new summer anime, keeping in mind that this is excluding the sequels, I would do a top 3. I would put The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses at spot number 3, and Bucket List of the Dead at spot number 2. Now, what would go into spot 1, you may ask? Well, that would be My Happy Marriage. It wouldn't surprise me if you hadn't heard of this anime. As I said before, there's a lot of weeds around the flowers this summer, but that doesn't mean the flowers haven't bloomed. And we have one right here for the picking. My Happy Marriage surprised me. I've got to say that it is probably one of the most underrated anime of summer and possibly the year. I haven't heard of it until recently and I binged it. Well, until I caught up with it, that is. I have yet to see the final episode. I was very impressed right off the bat with its gorgeous art, unique and compelling story, and its amazing soundtrack. When I was first told of the show, I had no idea what I was getting into. But boy, it was a wild ride. And it was wonderful to see the world building and in-depth thinking it took to craft the plot. So let's hop on in and talk about why this anime is supposedly the best underrated new anime for the summer of 2023. And be forewarned, there are spoilers ahead as we will be going over this story, so don't say I didn't warn you now. Now, interestingly enough, My Happy Marriage takes place in the early 1900s. Sayamori Mio is a fragile and broken woman in a dysfunctional wait. Hold on. This is just depressing. I thought it had happy in the title, so what? Oh, it's a drama. Alrighty then. Anyways, Mio lives in a home with a dysfunctional family. Her biological mother passed away when she was around 2 years old. Her father remarried and had another daughter named Kaya Sayemori, and they became stepsisters. Although Mio gained a new stepmother, she rejected the young Mio with disgust and put her to work as but a mere servant within the Sayemori house and worked her to the bone with starting at such a young age. And with her stepmother's influence on Kaya, she became narcissistic and awful towards her older stepsister, degrading her and putting her down at every opportunity. Mio, having no other choice, takes both mental and physical abuse from her stepmother and stepsister, with the father not even batting an eye at what they do to her.
It's bitter. You brewed it for too long.
I'm terribly sorry.
Your apology means nothing.
Mio, how long do you intend to stay down there? Go and rebrew it at once.
Yes, right away.
So, basically, the Bitch of the Year award goes to Kaya Sayemori. Applause, everyone! Round of applause, please. But I mean, doesn't she remind you of anyone? And also, is that Muzan from Demon Slayer? Oh wait, no, never mind, it's just another bitch. Though she might as well be a demon. We'll talk more about that later. But in any case, the only person that Mio feels she can open up to even slightly is a young man her age named Tatsuishi Koji, a friend of hers since they were little. Clearly Koji is crushing hard on the beautiful Mio and wants to do anything to help get her out of the Sayemori house. And he succeeds. It's just that, well, an arranged marriage takes place on agreement between 3 families. Unfortunately, Koji isn't getting married to Mio. Instead, he was given Kaya. The only person that Mio cares about gets married to her sadistic little sister, and Kaya just rubs it in her face. Mio, on the other hand, is given to a complete stranger named Kyoka Kudo, and by word and rumor, he's a man who's cold and merciless. Sadly, Mio doesn't have any other choice but to become the fiancé of a stranger, as she is essentially banished from the household, expected to never return as she is labeled an embarrassment of the Sayemori family. With nowhere to turn, she solemnly heads over to her new home, and it is here that she is greeted by a cheerful servant named Yurie and invites her in. There she meets her new husband-to-be, Kyoka Kudo, a stunning and handsome man. Of course, not any more handsome and stunning than our wonderful viewer here, wink wink. And only the most stunning and handsome here have already liked this video and subscribed. In fact, they've even handed over their wallets and social security numbers so that we can financially support this channel by becoming a member here and on Patreon. You sexy beast, how dare you take my heart hostage? No need to be bashful. Love knows no bounds. Coming back, Mio meets Kudo for the first time, who happens to be the commander of a military unit. Although he seems indifferent to her being there, Mio takes this as a strange encounter, as she's used to verbal abuse and thought she would be kicked out almost instantly, which just breaks my heart. Mio, you deserved better than what your family put you through. The next morning, she decides to wake up early and do what she would normally do as a servant in the Sayemori household, and make breakfast. Yurie comes in shocked but is delighted and helps her cook for Kudo. Later, they serve the meal to Kudo, but he refuses to eat it, then claims that Mio poisoned the food. This puts stress on Mio, but she is determined to become the ideal wife for Kudo or die trying. And I mean literally, she said she is willing and prepared to die or leave forever if Kudo demands it. Yurie secretly scolds Kudo for not having Mio's cooked meal and later regrets it. Although while Mio is determined to work hard for Kudo, she keeps becoming discouraged. Later on, Kudo apologizes for not eating the meal prepped by Mio and would like to try having one prepared by her for breakfast the next day. And Mio happily agrees. The next day, Kudo does eat Mio's home-cooked meal and praises her for it. This was the first time Mio was praised for anything, and she takes it to heart. From then on, the two get along quite well and love starts to take form. And that's where our lovely romance tag comes in. Now, while love starts forming, Kudo starts to take interest in Mio's background, as he picks up the obvious hints that the Sayemori family has wronged Mio and wants to investigate her history with the dysfunctional family. While doing that, he decides to take her on an official date and get new kimonos for her, as she has been wearing but practically nothing but rags for her entire life. And after the date, he seems to want to officially seal the deal by giving Mio a brand new comb. One that looks very similar to her late mother's, which is the only thing she has left of her. But the thing is, it is tradition in this time period that a comb as a gift has the meaning of a marriage proposal. This man, who's turned away countless women, those who have sought greed and power countless times, wants to marry our sweet Mio. And that is great news. Later, while Kudo is still investigating Mio's background, he figures out that he's being spied on. Did he just make fire from nothing? Oh, it's a fantasy anime as well. Somehow this just fits perfectly. See what I mean when I say I didn't know what I was getting myself into? Any other surprises coming? Oh yeah, there is a lot coming. And one of these twists comes from the Tatsuishi household, or in other words, our main character's best friend's family at the very beginning. The original deal was for Koji's older brother to marry Mio. Now, why would that be? Well, that's because the Tatsuishi household is in search of power. That is what these arranged marriages have always been about. Power. Not just in terms of status, but in powerful supernatural abilities. Through Kudo's investigation and the Tatsuishi schemes behind the scenes, we learn that the reason why Mio was neglected and abused all this time is because she doesn't possess a supernatural ability. Those with supernatural abilities hold a high status because they are uncommon but possess gifts from the spirits. And it turns out Koji has such abilities, as does the rest of the Tatsuishi household, and only those that have a supernatural ability can be wedded to another user. But hold on, something doesn't make sense here. If that's the case, why does the Tatsuishi family want Mio, of all people? Someone who doesn't have any abilities. Well, as it turns out, while Mio is from the Sayamori household, her mother was of the Usaba family, a family that has been known to possess very powerful supernatural abilities. Despite Mio not possessing an ability herself, she could be, and I quote, the goose that lays the golden eggs. Slightly disturbing analogy, but what they're after here is the possibility of Mio's children having powerful abilities, which would aid in the power struggle between families. Isn't political status just a wonderful thing? In any case, the Tatsuishi family decides to take measures into their own hands by manipulating the youngest daughter, Kaya, and trade fiancés. Kaya happens to find Kudo very attractive and despises Mio for being his fiancé. So they conspire together in an agreement. Put Mio in a corner and get her to say she won't marry Kudo, give Mio Koji, and then Kaya takes Kudo's hand in marriage. Then Mio becomes a baby-making machine and make powerful children for the Tatsuishi family and happily ever after. Right?
Like that's ever gonna happen.
Well, they sure as hell try, because they do a drive-by and kidnap Mio right in front of Yurie.
It's Mio!
Here's the part where we riot and pillage the Tatsuishi head for being an absolute scumbag. It then comes down to our boy Koji, who hears about this plan and tells Kudo that they just kidnapped Mio and he knows where she's at. Wanna take a guess where she is? You guessed it, she's at the Sayamori household. From here, her skink of a mother and bitch of a sister start to abuse her while she's restrained, trying to scare her into retreating into her former self and ordering her to call off her marriage to Kudo. Mio, finding the courage within herself, tells them no for the very first time ever, and that she would rather die than go back to how she was before, as she loves Kudo with her whole heart. And it's no understatement to say that they did not like that answer. Meanwhile, Koji and Kudo arrive to save the day, blasting through the Sayamori entrance. Literally. From there, both of Koji's and Mio's fathers prevent them from going any further and threatens them. Kudo then proceeds to kick both their asses, but Koji's father, desperate at all measures, tries to blast Kudo with a powerful fire attack, which is deflected, but at a cost of the Sayamori household, which burns to the ground. Mio is still trying to hold off while Kaya chokes her, nearly killing her, until Kudo finally finds them. From there, he curses out Kaya and her mother, saying there's not a chance in hell that he would choose an arrogant woman such as Kaya, and promptly leaves with Mio. Later, Mio wakes up and finds Yurie and Kudo by her side, thankful that she's safe and sound. They learn that the Sayamori household burnt to the ground and the family retreated to a smaller home on the countryside, with Kaya and Koji still remaining together but working as servants for another household. And as for the Tatsuishi household, the eldest brother stepped up and took over, demoting the father to nothing. And the new Tatsuishi family's head now works under Kudo to make reprimands. Upon visiting the burnt remains of the Sayamori home, Mio visits her late mother's cut-down cherry blossom tree. There, after visiting it and the stump fading to ashes, Mio starts to have nightmares. And not just any ordinary nightmares. These nightmares consist of demons that come to her in her sleep. Meanwhile, at Kudo's workplace, he learns that a demon's grave was opened, and the demons called Grotescaries crawled out and started to wreak havoc near the kingdom, and the damage could get much worse. The people of the empire could get completely wiped out if it spreads, as it is like a disease caused by demons. While Kudo investigates, Mio tries to become more ladylike and wants to be a worthy wife of her husband-to-be. Therefore, here enters the sister of Kudo Kyoka, Kudo Hazuki, a woman familiar with the times and latest trends on what to wear and how to act to be a proper lady. And here's a quick history lesson for y'all regarding Japan, because I swear, the history and relevance of society and technology within the show is just incredible. Doing a bit of research ourselves shows that the implementation of Western clothing being brought into Japan was during this same time period. This period, known as the Meiji period of Japan, was between 1868 and 1912. This was when foreign cultures started having heavy influence on Japanese culture, and the Japanese government encouraged the people of Japan to adopt Western mannerisms and clothing. Hell, it was required for all military personnel to wear Western uniforms, especially at formal functions. The Meiji government's ultimate goal was to produce change, and I gotta say it was a success. Now, to get a better look at what specific year we are somewhere between 1904 and 1912, as there are electric trains being used in the cities. Electric trains weren't introduced to Japan until 1904, while automobiles were in 1898. If I were to guess, the year we are in with Mio and Kudo is 1907, but that's only a guess. And that's the end of today's Japanese history lesson. It was normal for higher-class Japanese women to adopt Western mannerisms and clothing, as it served well for socializing at parties and gatherings, and showed class, confidence, and flawlessness through true femininity and essence in a woman. Therefore, Hazuki and Mio set a goal that they will work hard, and in 2 months' time, they will attend a party for Mio to demonstrate her skills at. And she does plenty well right off the bat. Learning proper mannerisms different from your own, though, can take a bit of patience, and of course, she needs plenty of practice, as walking in a dress is difficult when you've walked in a kimono all your life.
Movement in a dress is different than a kimono.
Oh, I see.
All seems to be going well, but through all her hard work, she starts to become sleep-deprived thanks to her nightmares disturbing her. She can't sleep soundly, and her health starts to take a massive toll because of it, becoming thinner, paler, and dizzy, even to the point where she almost fainted on a walk. But thank God Kudo was there to catch her.
Excuse me, but can we help you? You better back the f up, Four Eyes, or I'll poke 2 of them out.
Anyways, this creep gets introduced and we don't know his role yet, but we already know one thing. He's after our Mio and he can't have her. She's happily taken. Happy face. We later on see him visit Mio at home and search for Kudo, because he also happens to be a part of the prefecture that is trying to stop the Grotescaries from wreaking havoc any further. And oddly enough, it seems that he knew Kudo wasn't there and was trying to talk to Mio, in which case he trash talks Kudo, but Mio stands up for him, thankfully. He then hands her his card and tells her that he has a role for her that only she could fill, and promptly leaves. What he means by that, I don't know, other than that my brain's red flag detector tells me he's looking for coochie. I'm calling it now. Anywho, Kudo and Four Eyes have a talk later at work, and he starts acting all creepy again, as if he knows exactly what happens during their time together. But Four Eyes blames Kudo for Mio's poor health, but in truth, it's not his fault. He wants Mio to open up to him, but she just won't. She's too scared to. Later on, Kudo comes home and finds Mio looking much worse. Kudo begs her to open up to him as he's aware the nightmares are bothering her, but he pushes too hard and Mio passes out from the stress. Kudo, desperate to help Mio, ends up taking her to Four Eyes' place because he figured out that Four Eyes is actually a part of Mio's family on her mother's side. In other words, Four Eyes is a part of the Usaba family. After arriving, things get a little awkward, as the family asks that he hands Mio over to them for good. Their claim? Well, you know what they say. You gotta keep it inside the family, if you know what I mean. Sweet home Alabama. And it turns out that Four Eyes here is actually her cousin, Yeah, well, besides it being gross as all get out, they claim that in return they will keep Mio safe and her nightmares will stop because she actually has a super strong supernatural ability called Dream Sight, and they would help her hone and grow her abilities. And Mio already felt better just by being on the Usoba property. Of course, Kudo declines this as this would mean Mio and Kudo would have to break off the engagement and a settlement could not be reached. They both then ask for what Mio wants and she didn't know. I mean, in her defense, it's a messed up situation with two prideful families with tough decisions. If she stays, she won't have any more nightmares and her health would improve, but she'd lose Kudo. If she left, she'd keep Kudo, but her health would deteriorate more until possible death. Then an unexpected turn of events happens to solve it all. A duel is proposed by Four Eyes, a manly serious duel, which means that the duel ends only when an opponent dies. Kudo accepts. If Kudo wins, he will be taught how to help Mio and keep her hand in marriage. But if he loses, the Usoba family keeps Mio and Kudo is never to see her again. Here in this duel, we see Kudo pull out a sword and get ready, and Four Eyes pulls out a freaking gun? What the hell? Despite this, Four Eyes should have kept his glasses on as he misses every shot, and the sword has an excellent close range advantage. There's just one problem. Four Eyes is also a spirit user, although he does not have what they call spirit sight. None of the Usoba family does. The Usoba specialty doesn't lie in taking out demons, but rather taking out other spirit users. That's the Usoba specialty as precautionary measures against rogue spirit users that possess powerful abilities. If I gotta be honest, it's smart as hell to have a backup like this. And if I had to relate this to Greek mythology, it would be Thor, the god of thunder, versus Loki, the god of trickery and deception. And the fight is epic, and the animation in the scene is well done. Probably one of the best fights this season. Although once we learn Four Eyes' tricks, Kudo finally uses his powers to battle his. And he starts winning, nearly blasting him away, right until the very end with the final blow.
You cheating mother suck a fat you licking four-eyed lip having inbred piece of
Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
Holy hell. This pissed me off more than I have been in a hot minute. What the hell happened to your manly serious duel that you talk so high and mighty about there, Four Eyes? Inbred over here couldn't stand losing, so he uses an illusion of Mio to win and banish Kudo out. Ironic though, this proves his love for Mio is true as he hesitated so he wouldn't harm Mio even if it was an illusion. Meanwhile, Four Eyes would use Mio to justify his own means and win her over even if it meant sacrificing her. In summary, Four Eyes don't deserve her one bit. After being teleported out, Kudo is depressed and defeated for the moment. But his sister happens to snap him out of it, saying that you think what happened really mattered? What matters most is what Mio feels for Kudo. He then agrees to see her right away. That is until the Grotescaries go on a full rampage, and now Kudo has to do some damage control. But he promises to see her no matter what, and do so once he finishes the cleanup operation. Meanwhile, Four Eyes starts hitting on Mio and she rejects every advance, still claiming to be Kudo's wife-to-be as she regrets not telling Kudo what she was feeling in her heart and wants to tell him next time she sees him. That's right, you conniving jerk-off. Back off and hands off. Meanwhile, we get to know of Mio's grandfather, and he is actually not a bad man and genuinely wants to be a grandfather to her, as he lost his daughter, Mio's mother, on bad terms. He doesn't want his family to be broken, and he just wants to be a family again. And with that, he offers her wisdom and guidance, not just through controlling her powers, but through helping her realize what she wants for herself. Meanwhile, Kudo works tirelessly through multiple days and nights without rest, protecting the kingdom, up until the very last Grotescaries are defeated. But there happens to be one Grotescary still alive, and it goes after his best friend. Kudo then sacrifices himself and kills it. But he ends up getting cursed in the process, putting him in a coma that will eventually kill him. Mio, upon hearing this, immediately tries to go to him, but Four Eyes tells her she cannot. Not because of the duel, but because of all people, the Emperor himself demanded it. What plans the Emperor has for her, we don't know. And Four Eyes tells her this. But her grandfather tells her if this is what she wants, she should go. Four Eyes decides to go with her as he is her protector, even though he forbids it. Will Kudo ever wake up? Will Mio be able to tell Kudo how she feels? Will I ever get to kick Four Eyes' ass? Who knows, because now you're caught up with me. As the final episode is not out yet. It's okay, I know, you can cry with me, make out with me, whatever makes you feel better, but the next episode will be out real soon. Hi, this is Animan from the future. Just like I said, it came out very quickly. And I underestimated it. With that said, I'm gonna wrap up with what we learned from the finale. So, Mio hops into Kudo's soul by sleeping by his side and holding hands with him. Then, in the midst of trying to find Kudo, with him taking a last stand and battling endless hordes of demons, Mio must face her inner self, or rather, her guilt, sadness, and anger. Essentially, it's her conflicted feelings. Our sympathetic and loving Mio accepts who she once was and embraces her negative emotions, breaks out of her soul's capsule, and finds Kudo. Mio then, with her new powerful ability, saves Kudo and defeats the Endless Horde, which, by the way, was controlled by the Emperor, who wanted rid of powerful abilities that threaten him. No matter, as the Emperor and his little helpers find themselves as bacon strips in a deep fryer thanks to Mio's own ability. It's just that she doesn't know now that she just offed the Emperor by accident. But who's gonna know, right? Anyways, Mio and Kudo wake up and everyone celebrates. As for Four Eyes, he leaves and says his work is done, giving up on Mio. Kudo then says that he wants a rematch and the two become bros. Well, look at that, suddenly Four Eyes ain't so bad after all. I'm still a little pissed at him cheating though. Anyways, Kudo and Mio end up having a peaceful life and they end up going to the party. And Mio is as beautiful as a cherry blossom tree. And the anime comes to its conclusion upon them agreeing to be married. Now, I still strongly urge you that you binge watch this entire anime because I left out a lot more than you think simply because of time restraints. I mean, I'm sure this video's already super long anyways. Other than that, this is the best anime of summer because of the storytelling, the world building, the character development, the stunning animation and art, and the music in this anime is just beautiful, as it's unique and the opening and ending credits to this anime are high quality and makes you want to stay for the full episode. And this anime has great messages to bring. Good things come to those who are patient, and live the life that you want to live, not what someone else chooses for you. Follow your heart and say how you feel for someone you love. Otherwise, you may regret it later. Take these messages of wisdom to heart, and live yourself a happy life of your choosing. And as for now, I'll catch you later. See you in the next one.